Hey, what's up, pilots? Today I am out right across from downtown Vancouver in a place called Kitsilano, and it's got these gates. Let's see if I can get in the shot. There you go behind me, that I want to fly through. And I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to use and also just show my Deep Space Seeker 3 modifications that I made. Not really modifications, I guess, more just swapping out the VTX. So I originally had the 04 Pro on here and I swapped out to analog. So why did I do that? I am tired of, when it comes to choosing drones to fly, I really want to fly this 3-inch drone, but because it had the 04 Pro on it, I always did mental math, and I kept thinking how much it would cost me if I actually crashed. So every time I took it out, I would fly pretty passively, or if I decided to do freestyle moves, then I kept it fairly safe and just did everything in open air. So, I want to change that mentality. I want to be able to push this thing so that I can get better. To make that easier on myself, I decided to swap out the 04 Pro for an analog unit. I swapped out to the Foxeer Predator Nano version 5. And then for my VTX, I went with the Speedybee Tx800. And for the antenna, I've decided to get the Lumineer AX2, this small flexi antenna here. And the other modification I made, I guess, is I also removed the GPS unit that I had on there. The 04 Pro unit I will move over to a future 5-inch that I'm going to build out, and it'll be able to carry that weight better too, because that was one of the other big benefits of switching over to analog. I reduced this thing by 20 grams. That's 10% of its total weight. So all in with battery, I'm looking at 230 grams now. This is just the GHE MCU buzzer, so it's fairly cheap. So those are the changes that I made to the Deep Space Seeker 3. While we're at it as well, I probably should go over my analog setup. And my wife made me stickers, so yay. I have the Skyzone Cobra SD analog goggles. Bought this before all of the videos came out about Skyzone's ridiculous latency that they add. So, if I had to do this again, I wouldn't choose this, but I've been pretty happy with it anyways, because it comes with DVR and it comes with true diversity. And I gotta admit, when I first tried it at home on the Air 65, I actually felt motion sickness when I first flew it. And I was flying DJI before that. I thought it was me just getting used to the analog picture, and maybe that caused some kind of disconnect in my brain. But now that all the tests have come out from Nils and the community, it makes sense now, because there is significant latency issues on here. However, I feel like you can get used to it. Unless you're a cracked racer or something, I feel like you can adapt to that latency and just fly with it adjusted. It will suck if you need to make that split-second reaction to avoid an obstacle. Maybe one day I'll upgrade to a new analog goggle, but since I already bought this, there's already some sunken cost in here. I don't feel like trying to offload this and then, I don't know, switch to something else cheaper like the VR04. The Cobra SD comes with linear antennas, which works great at home. I love using it at home, but just for that extra little bit of insurance when I'm out, I also picked up Foxeer antennas. So just a straight antenna here. I think this one's 15 millimeters or 10, I don't know, something like that. And then I got a patch antenna, so in case I want to send it far. And that's it. That's my analog setup. Yeah, let's get this thing up in the air and I can talk about it a little bit here.
Launch control active.
So using the Foxeer camera, you'll notice that it's the settings at default are extremely high contrast and high sharpness. So those settings are bumped up to the max. But surprisingly, that hasn't bothered me too much, and in fact I kind of appreciate it now, because it allows me to spot the outlines better. So here, if you look at this structure here against the sky, you'll see there's this halo effect around objects, almost like I got a predator vision or something, and so kind of cool. But if you edit photos or edit video, you'll recognize that that's from settings that are burning the image because your sharpness is just pumped to the max along with contrast. So then it creates this halo around the edges of images. I think it might be possible to fix in post if I like cared and I needed to, I don't know, have a better image to produce, or a more natural image. Then maybe I could like lower the sharpness or add some blurring or something, and then add motion blur as well, because everything's looking pretty sharp. But nah, for the intent of just using this to see where I'm going and fly, then it's gonna work out fine. So yeah, like the main reason, and I think I mentioned it already, but I made this change because I wanted to not have that fear of crashing the Seeker 3. I still have fears, obviously, because it's still gonna be expensive, but you know, even just going through the structure like this, I don't know if I would have done with the 04 Pro, at least not as aggressively. So it's already a win. I actually can hear the, I don't know if you can hear it, but sometimes when I'm moving, I could hear the antenna rattling against like the frame or hitting something, maybe the battery lead. That's probably not a good thing. I'm gonna have to deal with that at some point. But sweet, like even the image quality, like pretty happy with it. And the Seeker 3 is pretty quiet even compared to my 2-inch drone. You would think it'd be louder, but I guess the larger blades maybe makes it more thrust efficient. I don't know. Could be making all this up. Haven't really tested anything. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, the ultimate goal is to take this thing into a bando, right? That's my intent. I've been experimenting with just like slow turns. They just look pretty sick when you like slowly turn. I don't know. I'm trying to get used to it too, just how much time I have. On like 5 inches, I know you get so much inertia that you could like freeze time almost. Not so much for tiny whoops, but the 3-inch I can almost get that feeling. So yeah. No, that's pretty sick. Ooh, look at the signal break up from just going down there. Makes sense though. It's trying to penetrate through the metal and then concrete, and I'm just lower on the ground, so there's water as well. Guess that's the one thing you have to be careful with when you move to analog. Like, you have to be really aware about the surroundings that you're flying in, and you know, either face it or find a new place to stand. It's really early, so the sun is just rising against the downtown backdrop, and it's beautiful. I guess it's in these moments where I wish I could swap to an 04 Pro just to capture the image really quickly and then move back to analog, but no, that doesn't exist. So sweet. Yeah, well, I'll be practicing my flights out here, so don't know if I'll be filming it. If I do, then cool, but if not, then I will catch you folks in the next one. Yeah, later. Just got one battery pack left here in this area, and I'm just trying to see if I can give myself a back-to-back challenge to do. I'm gonna pull off a knife edge through this gap. I'll see how low I'm comfortable doing it, but obviously the lower I go, smaller the gap's gonna be, right? Vertical stack is kind of high. There isn't actually that much room to make it through here. So the second after that, then I'm gonna go to the flagpole, and pull off a trippy spin. And if I'm feeling it, then I will also go into a trippy spin rewind. That's the plan. Let's see if we can actually pull it off today.